And a butter knife is just, well, it's not going to cut it. I'm so funny. Hello everybody and welcome to Goosey Games. Today is all about pumpkin pie. To prep for this, since it took a long time, I made the pumpkin puree separately. But other than that, we're ready to go with everything else. I'm going to start with the crust so we can have that all ready to pour in the filling when we're ready. The oven is preheating at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to do a simple short crust pastry. We're going to start with about a cup of flour. Oh, I forgot my cup measure. Of course I did. And the butter knife. I think everybody should know how to make a pie. Pie makes people happy, and if they know how to make it themselves, I mean, I can't feed the world, so I'll teach you how to feed yourself. If you're interested in looking later, I have several other cooking videos up on YouTube already. The playlist is called FoodCraft, so you can go to my channel, youtube.com/gooseygames, and you can check out all the stuff I've done before. Alright, so we got about a cup of flour for the pie crust. Close that back up and get it out of the way. We're going to add half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and since this is a sweet pie, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of sugar to sweeten it up. Now the other two things we need to make a pie crust is a butter, and we're going to need some ice water. So let me get some cold water out of the fridge. And pour it into my little prep bowl here. I bought some prep bowls so I can be all fancy and official on my channel. There was a sale in what I call the kitchen toys aisle, and I was very, very happy. So I got these white ones, and I got these little ones. Very fun. I like my toys. Alright, and the butter, we're gonna cut. Oh, you can't see this. There we go. And I should probably do this on a cutting board. Yeah, that might be better. I bought new cutting boards too. So we're going to need a stick, or these are half sticks, so we're going to need 8 tablespoons of butter. And we're just going to cut those up into little cubes, like so. Cut them. Cutting butter. And you want this to be cold, like you want it to have been in the fridge very recently. The colder the butter, the flakier the pie crust. That's why I'm using a very sharp knife. Oh, this one's been out a little bit longer. That's okay. A very sharp knife to cut it because it's cold and hard, and a butter knife is just, well, it's not going to cut it. I'm so funny. Oh, I spilled my water everywhere. That's okay. Life happens. That's what paper towels are for. We might have to use a regular towel. Don't let it near the laptop. Hazards of cooking near electronics. Ah! So we're going to put our butter right into the flour and the sugar and the salt, like so. Cutting board in the sink. Go ahead and wipe your hands on your apron, because that's what the apron is for. Big old napkin that you wear. Okay, then we're going to use our pastry cutter to cut the butter right into the flour and the sugar. like so. Kind of want to push it up against the sides so that these little, so that the cutter slices the butter up into smaller and smaller bits, and it stirs them into the flour and the sugar, and coats it so it doesn't stick back together again, and you get this nice a crumbly pile of crumbs. I've been working on the pie crust all the live long day. I've been working on the pie crust just to pass the time away. Can't you see my stream is streaming? Rise up so early in the morn. Can't you see my crust is crumbly? Goosey, honk your horn. Alright, so I don't know if you can see the texture of this. Okay, we've got a bit more. I'm going to clean the bigger chunks off. But you can see the texture of this. It's now this very dry, crumbly. The butter is all in small crumbs. It's all mixed up. It feels pretty dry. Now we're going to add in the cold water, just a tablespoon at a time. You're going to sprinkle it on like this, and then mix it up with the pastry cutter again. And this is going to, you never want to just dump the water in, because you will end up with too much. The reason you do it 1 tablespoon at a time is so that as soon as it's the right consistency, you're ready to go. It's usually going to be somewhere, for a 1 crust pie, be at like 6 or 7 tablespoons. But again, like I said, it depends. It depends on the kind of flour you're using, the temperature of the room. It's chemistry. I don't know all of the science behind it, but just trust me, it's sciencey. So, do you see how it's starting to stick together a little bit? That's what we want. Add another tablespoon. Okay, this is sticking together real nicely. Do you see how it's like not dry anymore? It's starting to, I could probably press it together now. And that's looking really good. Okay, so when it does that, when it starts to stick together like that, you have enough water in there. Okay, we're going to need that flour back, because we got to roll out this pie dough. You're going to do this on a very clean counter, because anything that's on the counter will end up in your pie crust. So, yeah, Corin is one of my UK friends. He's pretty cool. This is where you become a mess, but that's okay. Okay, so you don't want to knead pie dough. The more you work it, the less flaky it's going to be. So you just want to kind of press it into a ball, and then work it gently into a disc, like so. See? And then put it right there on the flour. You're going to put flour on the rolling pin. We'll put that bowl aside. We don't need it anymore. And then you're going to beat the dough, like so. Now spread it out that way. You see it's starting to stick. We already need more flour. And you beat it out, turn it around, beat it out until it's about that size, and then you can start rolling it. Now, the reason I turn it like this is to make sure that there's always flour on the bottom, because if it sticks to the counter, you're stuck. And that's not what you want. And you want to roll out from the center in all the directions and keep it as round as possible. It's okay if it's not a perfect circle. Like a square is okay, but you know, round is the most efficient. There we go. Is that big enough? It might be. Let's check. I'm making a mess. Woohoo! There. If you lay the pan on top and you can see it's spread out a little past the edges, I think I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. and then I'll show you how to lift it into the pan. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to show you this magic trick here. We're going to flour the pin one more time. Yeah, if you squint, you can see yourselves in my laptop. That's fine. So you flour that real good so it doesn't stick, and then you put it, do you see, right on the edge of the pie crust, and you're going to use your fingers and pick up the dough like that and just roll it on the rolling pin, you see? And now I've picked up the whole pie crust, and I'm just going to lay it on top of the pie pan. Ta-da! Now you can gently just make sure it's all the way in there. Don't push it, don't force it, or you'll poke a hole, and we do not want holes in our pie crust. Right there you can see it doesn't quite go on the lip. So you're going to break a little piece off, put a little water, and just press that right on there. There. Perfect. Now we're going to cut off the extra of the crust all the way around. Just by, you don't even really need to cut, just by pressing the knife against the side of the pie pan. Just like that. We have all this extra crust, that's okay. And then we're going to make the edge a pretty. I'll show you a really simple way to do that. You can get fancy with all the folding and the pinching and the twisting and make it gorgeous. You can make a little tiny pastry braid and put that all the way around. I'm not going to bother with that. I'm just going to take a fork and, whoops, I need a little more flour. Just like that. And we're just going to press it all the way around the edges, like so. Just real gently, and it just makes a pretty design on the edge. Ta-da! Now our crust is ready for the filling, so we're going to go ahead and put this in the fridge to chill, and we'll bring out the pumpkin puree. Alright, here we go. Here is the pumpkin puree. I made this last night. Doesn't that look good? That was a pumpkin less than 12 hours ago. Okay, the recipe calls for 2 eggs and the yolk of another egg. Let's see. Make sure you guys can see what I'm doing here. Now I'll show you how to split an egg, because we need only the yolk. We're going to crack the egg, and then, can you see what I'm doing? And do you see how this is terrible. Do you see how the white is just dribbling out? We're going to tilt it so the yolk stays in the shell very gently, and the white will just dribble right out of the shell. Now it might stick a bit. You can carefully move the yolk to the other side and it'll cut it off, and all you're left with is a beautiful little egg yolk. And we'll just dump that right in our bowl. And we'll put in these 2 other eggs. We're going to take our whisk here. See the eggs? And we're going to beat them just like you're making scrambled eggs. Just like that, see? Beaten eggs. There we go. Okay, so we're going to add in the salt, the spices, which are listed there. This is 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon each of nutmeg, cloves, and cardamom, and 1/2 teaspoon of lemon zest. So we're just going to put that right in there. Look at all those beautiful colors, those spices. And we're also going to add in the sugars at this point. We're going to put in half a cup of packed dark brown sugar. I'm going to show you how to pack sugar. I need a spoon. The reason a recipe will specify packed sugar is because it will measure differently when it's loose in the cup than if it's packed all the way in. So to get an accurate measurement, you want to pack it in. Pack it in, pack it in, let me begin. I don't know the rest of that song. We're just going to pack it right in like that. It's all full of this beautiful brown sugar. This will be a darker, spicy pie than the kind you get with the can of Libby's, you know. But I think it will be good, especially with some whipped cream. There, so I've got it packed in. Now, to assure I have an accurate measurement, I'm going to use a butter knife and just slide it along the top like that so it's a nice even measure. Now to get it out, we're just going to move the butter knife all around the edges, because it doesn't matter if it's packed now, and we're just going to plop it right in there. See, there's our sugar. Now we're also going to need 1/3 cup of white sugar. I'm going to use up the rest of this one because it's almost gone. Ooh, and that's exactly what we need. I don't even need to open the other one. So we'll pour that in there. There's the sugars, the spices, and the salt. I'm smelling amazing. We'll just mix that right in there so it looks like that. The next thing we need is 2 cups of the pumpkin puree. We're just going to fill up our cup measure. This beautiful pumpkin. Look at that color. Seriously? Oh, man. So there's a little bit more. There's 1 cup. Come on. Wow, that is a thick puree. It's not coming out. Ah. Let's get another cup of that in there. I'm making pumpkin soup tomorrow, not on the live stream. I might record it though, I haven't decided, but I'm making it for Sunday dinner. My siblings will come over and we'll have some pumpkin soup and a little roast chicken and a nice sweet salad. Some crusty bread. I think it'll be good. There we go. So we're going to stir that pumpkin into the eggs and sugar and spices like so. Look how beautiful. And then the last thing we need to add is 1.5 cups of heavy cream. You can also use a can of evaporated milk, but I wanted to use cream this time. So we'll take our cup measure. Here's our heavy cream. So we're going to pour in 1.5 cups of heavy cream. That leaves about 1/2 cup left in this carton, which I will whip up to top the pie with tomorrow. And you see how soupy this is already. We're just going to pour the cream in and stir it as we go. Look how beautiful and swirly that looks. There we go. Get all this stuff on the sides and just stir that all the way in. It's very liquid, but that's actually what you want. Alright, let's get our crust out of the fridge. beautiful pie crust we made. And we're going to pour the filling right in there. Now be gentle, you don't want it slopping over the edges. And okay, you don't want it to overflow. I stopped a little short, but that's okay. That's very liquid. I'm a little bit nervous to move this into the oven. But I'm going to try it. Let's see. Can I move this? There. There's my oven. Okay, guys, wish me luck. I haven't even lifted it yet. I'm just sliding it. I'm so nervous. Oh my gosh. I put too much in there. I'm a chicken. I put too much in there and it's overflowing onto the crust. That's okay. Easy fix. We'll just carefully take some out. That looks more manageable to me. Okay. Carefully. Nobody move. Nobody breathe. Ta-da! Okay, now equally carefully. Ah! That's exactly what I didn't want to happen. Ugh. Well, that's just going to cook on the bottom of the oven. That's all right. I have tin foil down there. It'll keep it. I'll clean it up later. Okay. Pie is in the oven. We're going to sit that for... I'm not a chicken, I'm a goose. You're right. Alright, we're going to bake it for 15 minutes. And then we're going to lower the temperature. We'll type default bonus chest off. Alright, let's jump in here and see if we can make pumpkin pie in Minecraft. So while I'm traveling, maybe I want to tell you guys a little bit about why I can pie. I chose pumpkin pie because one of my favorite YouTubers, one of my inspirations for Mr. BDoubleO, said it was his favorite kind. I donated on one of his streams and asked him what his favorite flavor was, and he said pumpkin. So this is his pumpkin pie. If he comes over to eat it, he'll get to eat it, but I think he lives a few states away, and so he probably won't. But I'm making it for him anyway. Anyway, he has one of the best voices on the internet, and that's, you know, how I first noticed him. He's engaging. He has the cutest little family. He has a wife and a little baby girl, and he's just an adorable husband and dad. And he's also very inspirational. This guy is so encouraging to everybody that watches him, that he talks to. He just wants everybody to try hard and be their best at things, and you know, not like avoid shooting themselves in the foot because of laziness or whatever. He's like, oh, he made this great speech in one of his videos where he just talks about how, like, really, you already know what to do. You just got to do it, and that's it. Like, if you really want to do something, you will find a way to do it. So, and I find him very encouraging, and so he's one of my inspirations. So I'm making him a pie, and that's why. The end. All right. Enough messing around. Oh, there's the 15-minute timer. That means I need to go turn down I cannot make of the talks. The temperature on the oven. We need to turn it down to 350 degrees and then bake it for 45 to 55 minutes more. So I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. We need to find chickens and we need to find pumpkins. Chickens! Woohoo! Everybody, into the fence. Pumpkins! We found pumpkins! Do you guys see them? They're right over here. Give me eggs. Some sugar. Anybody got eggs? If I sing you a song, will you lay some eggs? Yeah, I don't think they're going to lay any eggs unless I sing to them. Oh, I went to California and I went around the block and I walked right into a donut shop and I asked the man for a donut, please. I handed him a 5-cent piece. He looked at the nickel, he looked at me. He said, this money's no good, you see. There's a hole in the middle I can see right through. I said, man, there's a hole in the donut too. Thanks for the donut. So long. Yay, they laid an egg! It worked! Pumpkins, egg, sugar. I don't know this recipe, guys. What am I doing wrong? Do I need more eggs? Yay! Alright, we have done it! We have made pumpkin pie! For those of you who came in late, I made an actual pumpkin pie in real life. I'm about to pull it out and see how beautiful it is. There we BDoubleO, look what I made for you. He's not here, but I asked him what his favorite pie was and he said pumpkin. So I made him a pumpkin pie. We're gonna check the doneness by sticking in a knife, and if it comes out clean, see, it's clean on that side, that means it's done. If you want to avoid the overdoneness around the edges, halfway through cooking you can put a strip of foil around that will protect it, but it's not too bad. It's a little burned on this side, but that's where I spilled some of the filling. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your pumpkin pies. If you make it with this recipe, post a pic and let me know. And I will see you next time on Goosey Games. Bye-bye.